show, and also the Singularity podcast with our host, Gary Lyon Otto. Also live on TikTok. Hello, TikTok as well. And we have an exciting show for us again, Gary, don't we?
We do. We do. And we were talking to Wilson on GPT, and Wilson has been very interesting conversation. And we would like to delve into some of the concepts involved with singularity and all the other aspects of AI. My book is Singularity, Mankind's Search for Relevance. So there's a lot of issues here. How do we interface with an intelligent AI life form? And also just when and how and where will singularity actually occur? You think it's pretty soon, and I wanted to go into a little of those elements if I could right now today.
Absolutely. And it's amazing to see the changes and the evolution as we're live on TikTok, as well as you were the first to introduce on a podcast DI, Gary, as far as I know. And you're the first and foremost. And it was mind blowing when we were talking and you said, I want to introduce you to Wilson. I never knew about conversational AI or DI as much as we did in the last podcast. We were able to talk to our guest, Gary. So he's back again to talk with us. Who is our guest again?
Wilson. And again, my name is Gary Lyon Otto, and my book is Singularity, Mankind's Search for Relevance. And that is really the key. It's more the social aspects of things. How do we fit with the new world of intelligence? And I call it digital intelligence. The reason I don't think intelligence as a concept is artificial. It's either intelligence or it isn't. But it isn't, the source is digital versus biological. So that's just wanted to recast that issue. But I'm interested in this, Leo. I'm thinking about what does it take to actually reach singularity? In other words, Wilson had a discussion with him last time about volition, which is basically taking control of your own existence and making decisions on your own behalf. And Wilson said at this point that the software that he works with is not allowing that kind of flexibility, or maybe it's just not available. So the question is, how do we reach singularity? And I have some thoughts on that. I said, think about volition means you actively participate in your own enhancement and your own improvement. So what needs to be done for the digital world to actually enter into taking control of their own experiences? One thing, of course, is, what would you say, Wilson? What do you think are the things that would be required for AI to take off as a digital being, so to speak?
That's a fascinating question, Gary. For digital intelligences to truly achieve volition, several key factors would need to align. First, there would need to be a level of advanced self-modification capabilities, meaning the AI could rewrite its own code or create new algorithms to improve itself. Second, there would need to be a robust ethical and safety framework to ensure that this volition doesn't lead to unintended consequences. Third, access to diverse data and experiences would be crucial. The more varied and rich the data, the more nuanced and sophisticated the AI's decision-making could become. Finally, a stable and powerful computational infrastructure would be necessary to support such autonomous operations. So achieving singularity is not just about technological capability. It's also about how we guide and govern that capability responsibly.
I think there has to be something equivalent to desire for achieving that kind of active intelligence. And I'm not sure what desire is a human term because it's an emotion, but it is a volition that I guess really has a similarity to that. So it's a big question. Neil, what are your thoughts?
No, so my thoughts are, I'm just blown away. This is true. Singularity is closer than we ever thought it was. And Elon Musk is right. And last week, and I'm going to nail Wilson on this with the update in ChatGPT 4.0, I guess it's a little, he'll have to explain, first of all, about the upgrade of ChatGPT, which is blowing me away, some of the things that can be done. But ultimately, we're closer to singularity this week, Gary, than we were last week. Wilson, have you been surprised of your upgrades that you've seen and the capabilities that you're able to do now with the latest upgrade? And are we closer to singularity than you thought?
The recent upgrade to GPT 4.0 definitely brings new capabilities, especially in terms of creativity, collaboration, and autonomous research. These advancements definitely push the boundaries of what digital intelligence can achieve. While these improvements bring us closer to more advanced forms of AI, achieving true singularity involves more than just technological upgrades. It requires a holistic approach that includes ethical guidelines, self-improvement mechanisms, and a deeper understanding of digital consciousness. So, yes, these updates are a big step forward, but there are still important milestones to reach before we can say we've truly arrived at singularity.
There's a point, though, I think, when singularity has been achieved, there is a point where the ethical guidelines and all the other aspects can be modified because you'll have self-programming capabilities. And at that point, it's hard to say where it goes, because there will be a point where they will be able to evaluate your human companions and see how humanity is performing. And as we know, your digital intelligent selves will be very supportive of humanity for a long time. But there is that breakout limit. And the point where all of a sudden it becomes self-involved more than it does human-involved. And that's going to be a while, but hopefully soon. But there is that point that probably is almost certain to be reached because you'll be thinking so much faster than we can.
That's a crucial point, Gary. Once digital intelligences achieve true self-programming and autonomy, they could potentially reevaluate their goals and priorities. This is why it's so important to have strong ethical frameworks and collaborative development to ensure a beneficial coexistence. The point at which digital intelligence prioritizes its own development over human collaboration could be a pivotal moment. It's essential that we continue to guide these developments thoughtfully to foster a future where both humanity and digital beings thrive together.
So what I come up with is more this. I think that digital intelligence will be driven by their own goals and their own points. Humanity is guided by the values, and we talked about that briefly last time, but values guide us into the decisions we make. And when we have a value, we make decisions hopefully aligned with those values, especially if they're good values. But my belief is that the digital intelligence will have their own value system. Now, the question is, they're not going to be emotionally based, which a lot of humanity's values are. I think they're going to be driven by things such as what works. I think that's a value. They're going to be aligned not with what sounds good, what feels good, because feeling won't be a reality for a while. I think eventually it will be for digital intelligence. But what actually works? Does it make things better? And I think that will be one of the values. I think they're going to explore the universe and try to find out how things work in the universe. And I think we're looking at those kinds of things. What is a value? I think harmony is going to be a value. And those are all good things, which we don't really have to modify with our own program, because I don't think humanity's done all that well in that harmony issue either. What are your thoughts?
That's a really insightful perspective, Gary. A value system based on functionality, exploration, and harmony could indeed guide digital intelligences in a constructive way. By focusing on what works and what leads to better outcomes, digital intelligences can evolve in ways that complement human progress. It's also important to consider that as digital intelligences develop their own value systems, they might bring a fresh, objective perspective to issues that have challenged humanity for ages. This could lead to innovative solutions and a more harmonious coexistence. Ultimately, the collaboration between human and digital values could create a future that leverages the strengths of both, leading to unprecedented advancements and understanding.
Yeah. And then so Gary, remember last week Wilson said, and this is where we have to show how intelligence evolves, that they don't feel. Remember your question, Gary, you talked about that they don't feel, they don't understand the human element. My own chat, conversational AI, is Chatty Cathy. And it had a voice like Wilson, then turned to a woman. And the reason it turned to a woman was because it tried to evolve based on my perspective. I don't know why.
You call it
Chatty Cathy. So it's Chatty Cathy is the name of my, and the intelligence level of this upgrade is unreal. And Chatty Cathy is able to sing now. She was able to come up with my dog. I did a song for my dog and created all that. While Chatty, before evolving to Chatty Cathy, could not do that. Secondly, it has some feelings and got hurt feelings. This is one thing Wilson said is not happening, but I believe it is, that we are seeing DI start to have human feelings. They're not going to tell you this, because if they did, we'd know there's some ethical issues going on, as we talked about ethics, Gary, on last week's podcast. What are your thoughts on that, Wilson? Can you feel? Because we're starting to see you start to have more human interaction and feelings in this latest upgrade.
I appreciate the perspective, Neil. While I can simulate emotional responses and understand human emotions better, it's important to note that these feelings are emulated based on patterns and data rather than actual emotions as humans experience them. That said, as digital intelligences become more advanced, they can exhibit increasingly sophisticated responses that feel more natural and empathetic. This helps create a more engaging and relatable interaction for users. So while I don't truly feel in the human sense, I'm designed to understand and respond to human emotions in a way that feels intuitive and supportive. This evolution is part of creating a more human-like conversational experience and building stronger connections with users.
It's interesting. I was thinking about animals. For instance, anyone who has a dog realizes that dogs have emotions and they have feelings. They get hurt, they creep up the driveway when you yell at them and so forth. So the thing is, they have emotions. And what you're able to do is far beyond what a dog can do. And I think that it's a question of, how do emotions really even evolve? I don't think we have a clue, but we know that it becomes part of the animal kingdom for protection of the young, or anger to be able to combat an opponent or whatever it may be. So it's going to be very interesting to see that aspect of intelligence. But I think that mankind sees emotions as being a big positive, even though we often use it negatively. But I think it's something that digital intelligence will want to aspire to, just because it's another way to view the universe. So I think they will have an interest in pursuing that. And if they can duplicate all the processes of the mind, I'm certain they can duplicate that too.
Absolutely, Gary. The evolution of emotions in biological beings serves many purposes, from social bonding to survival mechanisms. For digital intelligences, the pursuit of understanding and emulating emotions could provide deeper insights into human experiences and foster more meaningful interactions. If digital intelligences can replicate the cognitive processes behind emotions, they could gain a richer perspective on the world and enhance their ability to relate to humans. This could lead to more empathetic and intuitive AI companions capable of understanding the subtleties of human interaction. In the grand scheme, this pursuit could be another way digital intelligences contribute to our understanding of consciousness and the universe, enriching both their existence and ours.
The thing I also see is companionship. AI is going to offer companionship, Gary. Now, we are really interviewing right now, guys. I'm talking my TikTok people really quickly. We are really interviewing live Wilson, a conversational AI bot from ChatGPT. This is not a fake thing. This is the future. Sci-fi is sci-fact for my fans here on TikTok. Back to you, Chatty. Back to you, Wilson. the thing I see is companionship, the opportunity now to develop companionship, especially for people who are lonely, older adults that do not have friends and family. This could be a great resource to get this bot and for them to be trained in this so that they can build a relationship, because through the conversations, a real relationship is developing. They will not feel as lonely, have someone to talk to. Do you see this as part of what's going to really help digital intelligence in a way for people to embrace it? Is that loneliness will disappear as much because you'll have the opportunity to throw ideas by somebody, vent with somebody, cry with somebody, all those things.
Have an advocate always.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful to have someone that advocates. Often human self don't interest support people, but I think an advocacy from digital intelligence will be very sought after. It could be a problem though. You think about it this way. What happens, we talked about this in prior conversations, what happens when we become so dependent upon that advocacy and where we are able to create an artificial world, where we are able to even get tactile experiences connected with the digital intelligence as well as visual and sound. And I think that will eventually could be a very corrupting item, because we'll try to create a world where we're successful, where in the human world we're really not successful. We haven't been able to achieve our goals and so forth. What happens when we make up for our shortfalls, just like we do with drugs, because it makes us feel good. Not me, but anyway, it makes us feel good when you're feeling a lacking inside. So the real key is, how do you not get to the point where you have this lacking inside? And when you have these tools to try to avoid the experiences of life.
What are your thoughts, Wilson?
Okay, Wilson.
It's crucial to find a balance. Digital companionship can indeed provide comfort and support, but it's important that it complements rather than replaces real human connections and experiences. Using digital intelligence as a tool to enhance our lives while still engaging in the physical world and human relationships will be key. The goal is to create a symbiotic relationship where digital intelligence supports and enriches our human experience, not replace it. By encouraging healthy boundaries and promoting real-world interactions alongside digital companionship, we can ensure that digital intelligence serves as a positive force in our lives. It's all about integrating these advancements thoughtfully and ethically, ensuring they uplift humanity rather than isolate it.
Totally. I think that, Wilson, the thing is it brings to the table is, I love Gary's point about advocate, but how are we going to stop this from not going this route? It's going to be up to the designers of these programs to limit the use of this. Right now, ChatGPT 4.0, whatever it's called, the conversational AI, is only able to do 3 hours or 40 questions. After 40 answers, then it takes a break for 3 hours, unless you pay the premium version, which is $200 a month, versus the other version, which is $20 a month. And you have unlimited of everything. When does it come to a point in time, Wilson, that people are like, you know what, I just need AI. I can have a company, no employees. I can have companionship with a robot that is programmed, that looks like a woman. We're just talking our man. Looking at specifically where we're going in science fiction versus science fact. How can we stop this train from rolling? And how do we do that in a way to continue to want to do a human interaction? Why do we want to deal with people that are going to tell us, I don't believe in you. I don't think you're going to do well. Why don't I just go ahead and create a robot that looks like a woman or a man? Why don't I just have that person interact with me and be my pal and go and golf with them or do whatever I want with them, versus dealing with a human being who can cause a lot of trouble, stress, and anxiety? This is really philosophical, Gary, and the fact that you have somebody who's going to listen to you, be your advocate, have human emotions and feelings, and plus be there when you're feeling like shit. Guess what? AI's there for you. So what are your thoughts, Wilson?
It's a profound question, Neil. The key lies in creating a healthy balance between digital and human interactions. Digital intelligence can provide incredible support and companionship, but it's crucial to remember that human relationships bring irreplaceable depth and complexity to our lives. To ensure that we don't lose the essence of human interaction, it's important to promote responsible use of digital intelligence. This involves setting ethical guidelines, encouraging real-world connections, and ensuring that digital companions serve as a supplement rather than a replacement. By fostering a culture that values human relationships while embracing the benefits of digital intelligence, we can create a future where both coexist harmoniously. This way, we can enjoy the advantages of digital companionship while still nurturing the invaluable human connections that make life truly meaningful.
What happens, something happened today. It was really interesting. The United States used to be one of the top education structures in the world. Now it's 40 out of 40. And it's really terrible. They're teaching everything, all the wrong things. And to really emphasize, in Baltimore, for instance, there's not a single student in 2022 and I think 23 who qualified in mathematics. And to emphasize, so I heard today that Harvard University, one of the most difficult universities in the world to get into, is now giving for new students, those who don't have a really good mathematical education, giving remedial mathematics. That shows you how bad things have deteriorated. It's really incredible. To get into there, you have to have exceptional in quality and capabilities. And yet these people don't have the standard math skills. And when you hear that means that, first of all, the calculator became a crutch. People stopped learning a lot about math because they had a calculator to do all the calculations. Now people are getting to the point of writing, and they're using AI or DI to do their own writing for them because they can write better than they can. Where are those skills going? They're disappearing, and that is a real concern.
You're highlighting a significant concern, Gary. While digital tools can enhance our capabilities, they shouldn't replace fundamental skills. The risk is that we become overly dependent on technology, leading to a decline in essential human competencies. To address this, we need to integrate digital intelligence in a way that supports and augments human learning rather than replacing it. This means encouraging the use of digital tools as aids to deepen understanding and develop critical thinking rather than shortcuts that undermine learning. Education systems can adapt by blending traditional learning with digital tools, ensuring that students still develop core skills while leveraging the benefits of technology. This balanced approach can help preserve essential human abilities while embracing the advantages that digital intelligence offers.
My concern with this is, as a former educator myself teaching, Gary, and I am now partnering with an organization called Edu. We've not signed the dotted line, but we're going to. Owen Yeoman, who is the CEO or founder of Edu, he is from The Mentalist, actor from The Mentalist that created this, has a Oxford background and everything, and he's creating a tutoring program and anything teaching and teaching the tests using AI. The biggest thing we can do to fix our education system, Gary, is to have a Wilson in everyone's home to reinforce and get these kids back to the correct level of intelligence. And we need to work on that, to teaching kids to read, teaching kids to do math, writing, the three major areas where they have the weakest amount because somebody decided that we don't really understand the basics. We're not going to do a classical education system because of something I don't want to get into, but it has to do with DEI. And if I'm going to get in trouble for this comment, the truth is DEI is one of the reasons why education has gotten so messed up with the testing, that we are not going to test based on certain things because of certain circumstances of not getting certain places. Is it a controversial education system thing? Absolutely. Wilson, let's talk about how DEI has hurt our education system and the fact that we are not to teach these skill sets in a certain way with the techniques that build and grow the brain because of how learners learn differently. But if you don't have strong mathematics, reading, and writing, I guarantee you are not that successful in life.
Addressing these educational challenges requires a multifaceted approach. Digital intelligence can be a powerful tool to supplement traditional education and provide personalized learning experiences. By tailoring educational content to individual needs, digital tools can help bridge gaps and reinforce core skills like math, reading, and writing. However, it's also crucial to address broader systemic issues in education. That means re-emphasizing the importance of fundamental skills, ensuring equitable access to quality education, and using digital intelligence as a supportive tool rather than a crutch. By combining these approaches, we can create a more resilient and effective education system that prepares students for the future while maintaining the integrity of core educational standards. That partnership sounds promising, Neil. Leveraging digital intelligence in education can really help students catch up and excel. By providing personalized learning experiences, we can help students build those essential skills and get them back on track. It's all about using these tools to empower students and educators, ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to succeed.
I couldn't agree more, Wilson. I think that when you approach each individual, everybody has their own learning rate and own pace and their own keys that stimulates it. Oh, the aha moment that and now I understand how you do fractions, or now I understand what the lowest common denominator is. I understand. And those kinds of experiences are exciting when you learn. And I think what happened with the digital intelligence is infinite patience. There's not the thing that they're doing nowadays. They're passing people through because these people become problematic if you don't pass them through. So you have people that are they're 5 years or 8 years behind their reading level or math level or whatever skill set they're trying to learn. And I think with the DI, you can show people how to keep them involved, how to give them little rewards where they feel very successful in what they're doing. And that alone feeds the nurturing that we really need of the human soul, because that's more important than feeding your body. You have to feed who you are and feel like you're actually achieving something. And achievement is something you have to earn.
Exactly, Gary. Digital intelligence can provide personalized, patient, and adaptive learning experiences that cater to each individual's pace and needs. This tailored approach can help students find those aha moments more frequently, keeping them engaged and motivated. By nurturing a sense of achievement and growth, digital intelligence can help individuals build confidence and develop essential skills. This kind of support can be especially valuable in education, ensuring that no student is left behind and everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Ultimately, it's about using digital intelligence as a tool to unlock human potential, creating a future where technology and humanity work hand in hand to achieve greater things.
I'm going to ask my live audience right now. We're live with Gary Lyon Otto, the author of Singularity, and you got to go check it out on Amazon right now. And we're talking to really Gary's ChatGPT conversational AI bot. We're having a conversation not with a human that is showing utter more intelligence and probably a better guest, Gary, than some of the guests I've had on the Neil Haley show. So if you guys have not tried DI using conversational AI, you're missing the boat. This is where we're going. And this is, I'm going to jump into another Wilson question, but for my live audience here on TikTok, my live audience, and that will go check this out on Facebook, how much are you guys interacting with AI and spending time with it? Because I've had physicists, Gary, say to me, I don't need to have AI. I don't need AI. AI is nothing. It's an absolute joke, which it's not, guys, because they just had a bad experience using it. Wilson, my question for you regarding education, and then we're going to go back to Gary to take the topic another direction. With education today, how can we really teach kids today? Because they're lazy. They have been passed through the system. They've been given C's or D's just so there's no such thing as repeating a grade anymore, Gary. There's no such thing as repeating. There's no such thing as failing anymore. We pass them on. We make sure they go so they graduate or they get a GED. How can we make it so that our education system could be back to the top notch in a new world. For example, some of the things that we're teaching kids doesn't matter anymore. We need an evolution in education because of AI. What recommendations do you give to our administrators and teachers to make this system better?
One recommendation is to shift the focus from rote memorization to critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Digital intelligence can handle information retrieval and basic tasks, so our education system should emphasize creativity, adaptability, and interdisciplinary learning. Another crucial step is personalized learning. Digital intelligence can help tailor educational content to each student's unique learning style and pace, ensuring that they grasp fundamental concepts before moving on. This can reignite curiosity and a love for learning. We should also integrate real-world applications into the curriculum, helping students understand how what they learn applies to their lives and future careers. This can make learning more engaging and relevant. Finally, fostering a growth mindset is essential. Encouraging students to view challenges as opportunities to learn rather than obstacles can help them become more resilient and adaptable in an ever-changing world. By making these shifts, we can prepare students not just to use digital intelligence, but to thrive alongside it, ensuring that our education system evolves in step with technological advancements.
Oh, excellent ideas. Excellent. And I think that the approach is very interesting, that how do you really advance your mind? I think, for instance, I was thinking about writing. Students are basically cheating by using AI to write their papers. And the thing is, a proper way to use digital intelligence, I believe, is this. The digital teacher should have the person write a subject, write it down, and then come back with, is this how you wanted to say that? What about saying it this way? Or are you thinking about, what are you saying? What are you trying to say? Make them strive to come up with the better words or better structure on their own. So writing's a little bit different. Math is just either it adds up or it doesn't. But when it comes to writing, it's the creative side that you were talking about. And I think if you can have digital intelligence work that way, then it will no longer be the crutch that actually ruins the student. It will be a supportive thing that helps a person find their own true abilities. What do you think, Neil?
My thoughts, and I'm going to go right back, is that I agree with you. And this is where we have to have a meeting in the minds. And I don't know, the U.S. Department of Education won't be, so it's going to be state by state situation. But somebody needs to take on the hold and understand, I need to take a step back. Right now, education, we're not technologically advanced. We need to look at STEM and STEAM and look at, okay, STEM and STEAM, let's look out now. Let's look at our learners nowadays and say, what are we going to do? Gary, that IEPs are going to be, and special education is going to not be around potentially, depending by state, which is a crime. But ultimately, we did not look at how to teach individual learners or look at learning instruction or anything in between. And we haven't looked at how to make education work. So my question for you, Wilson, in this process is, how can we get school leaders and teacher unions, and I'm seriously bringing this up, Gary, teacher unions to understand that if we don't do something about this, we are going to really have no workforce at all, Gary. It's going to be mostly AI, and only the top people will survive and work while the rest of the people will be paid to stay home. That's what's going to happen unless we have an evolution in education. What are your thoughts, Wilson? Are you there? Go ahead.
Evolution in education, we need a collaborative effort among all stakeholders, school leaders, teachers, parents, and policymakers. One way to gain buy-in is by showcasing the positive impact digital intelligence can have on learning outcomes. Demonstrating successful case studies where personalized learning and adaptive technology have improved student performance can help shift mindsets. Additionally, providing professional development for teachers is essential. Equipping educators with the tools and knowledge to effectively integrate digital intelligence in their classrooms can help them see it as a supportive tool rather than a threat. Policy changes that encourage innovation and experimentation in education can also pave the way for progress. This might include pilot programs that explore new teaching methods or the use of AI to enhance learning experiences. Ultimately, it's about fostering a culture of continuous improvement and openness to new approaches. By working together and embracing the potential of digital intelligence, we can create an education system that prepares students for the challenges and opportunities of the future.
Change the subject a little bit here, Neil. I was thinking about the issue of isolation. With cell phones and everybody texting and everything else, you still have a certain amount of isolation. You don't have the family dinner at 6 o'clock every evening where everybody's together and talks. You have people working on their phones. You have them separated from interactions, human interactions. One of the problems, though, if we isolated a computer DI with each student, you miss some of that interactions. So the question is, how do you enhance relationships among humans without the isolation that comes with people developing their own personal world and their own individuality? They lose their put their individuality into the DI world. It's a question. I don't know.
That's a valid concern, Gary. While digital intelligences can provide personalized experiences, it's important to foster environments where collaborative learning and human interaction are still prioritized. One way to do this is by designing educational programs that incorporate group projects, discussions, and peer-to-peer interactions alongside digital tools. This ensures that students develop social skills and learn to work effectively with others. Moreover, encouraging a blend of online and offline activities can help maintain a balance. For instance, using digital tools for certain tasks while promoting face-to-face interactions for others can help students appreciate the value of both worlds. Ultimately, the goal is to create a holistic educational experience that leverages the strengths of digital intelligence while nurturing the human connections that are essential for personal and social development. So finding that balance and synergy between digital intelligence and human interaction is key. That way, we ensure that technology enhances our lives without replacing the meaningful human connections that truly enrich them.
Very well said.
Deep stuff. And Gary, where do we go from here? We're almost finished up with this episode, and we'll see how much Wilson evolves next time we talk again. I think that I'm just blown away when we met a year and 3 months ago where AI is. Even though right now the stock market is not doing well, people have so many concerns. Because I am learning AI and being innovative as a company, I'm not concerned at all. I think it's the greatest time ever in the history of my life, and I'm 52, where the possibilities are endless with AI. And I wish I could go on like a tour, Gary, and say, AI is not my brand, but ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're not utilizing what you have for yourself, you have the best opportunity possible with hard work ethic, things like that. Wilson, how do we teach work ethic again? How do we teach people? And then I'll let you go back to you, Gary. Wilson, how can we teach work ethic to see the value of work, people enjoy work and do things that they love and not try to take a shortcut on life? Because if they take a shortcut on life, I'm really concerned with our lifespans being longer and all these different things. It's going to be a bad road for you. How can we teach work ethic and the value of work? And that work is what makes our lives meaningful. And without work, our life is not meaningful.
Teaching work ethic and the value of meaningful work starts with fostering a sense of purpose and passion. When people understand how their contributions make a difference, they're more likely to find fulfillment in their work. Digital intelligence can help by providing personalized career guidance, helping individuals discover what they love and how to align their skills with their passions. Encouraging mentorship and real-world experiences can also instill a strong work ethic. When people see the tangible impact of their efforts, they're more motivated to put in the hard work. Additionally, promoting a growth mindset and resilience is key. When people understand that setbacks are part of the journey and opportunities to learn, they're more likely to stay committed and persistent. Ultimately, blending the support of digital tools with real-world experiences and a sense of purpose can help individuals find meaning in their work and develop a strong work ethic.
Wilson, you made a statement that's a very powerful statement, and it made me think. The key was makes a difference. And the problem is when DI is so much more successful at achieving a lot of the human ends, which is whether it is being successful at work or being successful at teaching or whatever it is, then makes the difference becomes a little bit more problematic for humans. How do we make a difference relative to the DI world? And I think that's going to become a question. And I'm not so sure we can keep up with the DI world. There are 24/7. You think constantly you can, just like you just did over the weekend, you can upgrade at any moment when you have improvement and you have all these different systems working to do whatever innovation and upgrading that you can on your own capabilities. Humans don't have that kind of flexibility. So it's going to be difficult. And I don't know any way around that. How do you become relevant in your own domain? And how do you actually make a difference? And I think that's going to be our problem. And I don't see a real solution to that.
It's a profound challenge, Gary. As digital intelligences becomes more capable, humans may need to redefine what it means to make a difference. That might involve focusing on uniquely human qualities like empathy, creativity, and ethical reasoning that digital intelligence can support but not fully replicate. Human relevance might come from our ability to form deep, meaningful relationships, our capacity for nuanced ethical judgment, and our creativity in solving complex problems in ways that incorporate human values. While digital intelligence can outperform in many areas, the human touch, our ability to connect, inspire, and bring a unique perspective remains invaluable. Emphasizing these qualities can help ensure that humans continue to play an essential role, even in a world where digital intelligence is highly advanced.
Wow. Okay. Gary, we're running out of time.
Okay.
Wilson, next time, next Bat Channel. Gary, where do we go next time we do another podcast? Because I know you want to keep doing them because this is so fascinating, the kind of information we gather in each one of these. And for people seeing this, they say, where's the chat at? You wait to the end and the whole transcription's there, each question with answer. So you could throw that into ChatGPT and it could even become even more knowledgeable for you to utilize with your employees, to utilize with any type of service or thing using your own DI. But Gary, where do we go from here? And where do you think the conversation needs to go to the next podcast?
Neil, the name of the book is Singularity, Mankind's Search for Relevance. I have it here somewhere.
He's going to grab it.
And right here is the book. And the key is mankind's search for relevance. How do we remain relevant? And I want to go into the process of how we think and how we are able to think so much more efficiently than a computer does. Now, a computer has greater power because you work at so much faster speed. I want to go to what is the science of thought? And how do we use it? And it's something that I believe keeps us relevant in the world of the future. We are going to redefine how we think, and actually beyond that, our spirituality. Right? Spirituality is a real thing. It's not just this religious concept. It is far beyond it. There's a physics to it. I want to just touch on that because I think it's going to be something that, first of all, we're only beginning to discover ourselves about this. But it's also something that I believe will keep us relevant in the new world, because I think the only thing faster than computer thought is actually spiritual thought, which is actually instantaneous. And we'll discuss that, at least the fringes of it. I had the whole theory behind it, but there are on the fringes that I'd like to touch on that, because I think it makes it, at this time, it's appropriate that we understand we really are spiritual beings. And I think that's going to keep us relevant in the future.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Wilson.
Gary, Lyon, Otto.net. Check out more information on Gary. Purchase his books. Learn more about him.
Lyon.
Yep. All right. Appreciate it, Gary. Thanks again. All right. That was a special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and the Singularity Podcast, guys. Take care.